Hello Internet, Magic Man here again from MMOBomb.com, and today we're taking a first look at Continent of the Ninth Seal. Now this upcoming game is brought to you by the team at WebZen, who's very careful to label it as an MMORPG. We'll get to that in a second. Make sure you rate, comment, like, and subscribe below. Let's get to it and break it down a piece at a time today, starting with the character creation in the game. Now, I know this is a bit of an unusual format for the way I do my first looks if you've ever seen any of my previous ones. However, I've got so much to cover that the only way to do this is one piece at a time. Now, right off the bat, you'll notice the visuals for the character models, although they're the hand-drawn versions right now, not too shabby. We've got three classes. We've got our Hunter, our Warrior, and our Shaman. The Warrior, of course, is the board and sword, the Hunter, bow and sword, or a melee weapon of any type, and then the Shaman is your caster. That's when we get further down the line and break out into advanced classes, you'll be able to take each of those three a step further. Now, right off the bat, fans will notice, yes, the game is gender locked. Here you see the female character as the Shaman. I went back to try and see, is there any way to get a male? No. It's male Hunter, male Warrior, female Shaman. Now, I promised my next video I would roll a male, and I did. It's a Hunter. We'll get to that at the end of the video. For this, I wanted to use a caster, so we went with the Shaman. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that there's not a ton of options initially for character customization. Now, don't let this menu deceive you, though. Once you start pressing tabs, this gets surprisingly complex. People that are much more creative than I are probably going to spend a really long time in here getting that perfect look. If character customization is something that you absolutely love, I'll tell you what, this game's got it for you. All the way down to the skin tones here. Well, that's a bit pale. You can see what your character would look like with a couple different outfits on, a couple different sets of gear. Again, character models visually, very strong. You wouldn't know that this game's actually a couple of years old. It's just getting ready to go for a North American release here. Now, what you're viewing is pre-beta test. If you've followed the free-to-play cast or you've been following C9, you know this game is letting about 10,000 people in starting February 4th. We got a little advance access on February 1st. I've spent a few hours in the game, which is definitely different for the way I do first look videos. But I really wanted to get this one covered for you guys. So many people wanted information on it. So right now we're messing with all the different features. We can change the... Whoa! Yeah, bunny ear hairstyle. Alright. Okay, fine. Oh, pigtails. There you go. What's this? A tree, huh? That's a bit unusual. It's... Oh, awesome. I look like my hair's a giraffe. Alright, you know what? I think we're going to stick with that. We'll just change the color a little bit. And if you love sliders, here they come. Let's finalize this and get you over to some more. Here we go. Check it out. Sliders galore, and they actually do something. Of course, you can adjust the chest size, waist, all the way down to the feet and the hands. Okay. So literally, have at you guys. I'm afraid of what some of you guys might come up with, but this will be fine for us. Let's take this character and get her in the game. Right now, only one server up and 2 instances in that server, so let's get in here and start off. Now, I've skipped a tutorial segment that is right before what you're watching here. The tutorial takes about 5 minutes to do. It gets you your basic control scheme down, how you're going to attack. Remember, I said this is not an MMORPG, and WebZen's very particular about that. This is an action MMORPG. And I agree with them. This isn't massively multiplayer in the same respect as Perfect World is massively multiplayer. Yes, in the town here you do have pretty much everybody running past you. However, the game is heavily instance-based in the vein of Vindictus and other games like that. So you party up, it is multiplayer, but you don't have that massive aspect anywhere really besides town, which is the hub for everybody. So, movement, WASD. your mouse is going to perform your attack functions here. So you won't be using it for movement much. You will be using it for camera, obviously. You'll be using WASD to move your character. Current key bindings in default position have a lot of the other key bindings mapped around WASD. I thought it was actually a pretty intuitive design for a default position when you're first starting off the game, but plenty of options to change that. Now, just like any other MMO, you're going to get quests, get the quests, take them to the wherever, and perform the actions, come on back, get 10 gold and a hug. So nothing new as far as the questing goes. Although some of the quests get a little out there, and we'll talk about those when we get there. Now, right now, I seem to be having a little glitch here. I can't click to get the quest to accept. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know what's going on. In this game, in the lower left corner, you do see the control function. That bounces you back and forth from a cursor and no cursor view. I was trying to move the system window and never placed it. And when I bounced back to a non-cursor view, I actually couldn't click on anything. So, my bad. I'm dumb. Okay, so we've got our quest. This guy's got another one for us, although it'll be a little harder. Hence the red exclamation point, but they will let us take it. So we'll grab that too. Visually, I've got to say, the game it's stunning. Webzen's done a top-notch job visually here with this game. Now, you're not seeing a ton of people in here. Again, this was a little earlier than the actual beta access, the VIP testing that they're doing. So we don't have the 10,000 people in the game yet. So we'll pick up another quest here. And they all seem to be sending us to the same place, so that'll be perfect. We'll be able to bounce around with everything. So let's fast forward just a bit here and get to the actual instancing. Obviously, you can see there's a sort of quest tracker here, little red arrows kind of leading us to additional quests, leading us to quest objectives. Proved pretty helpful. Doesn't show up all the time. Don't know if that's just they try to take it away as you get further and further in the game. But I did notice that it seemed to be appearing a lot less as I progressed with the illusionist here. Now, in the hometown, there's 2 exits to the actual dungeons. They both lead to the same place. You're going to go through the portal here, and here we go. We got our world map. And it automatically tells you on the map what different level caps for the different areas are. And you could take a look at your quests, change the difficulty of wherever you're going. You will notice only half the map is open to us right now. We had up to level 24-ish. 20 to 24 zones were open for us. Now, some of that is due to they're still localizing some of the other things. Speaking of that, this has to be a very polished beta. I've got to give Webzen crazy credit here. I've been in a ton of betas, and they warned us ahead of time. You may have localization issues with language, and you may have some lag due to distance of servers and things like that. I've recently upgraded my computer, and I had 0 lag on this game. And localization really wasn't an issue either. I've got to say, I'm very impressed with how smoothly this whole beta ran. Now, right now, you can see my trainer kind of kicking ass here. She's showing me some abilities that we'll get a little bit later in the game. Obviously, I didn't make it to that point yet. So my attacks are going to be substantially less eye candy than hers, but just looking at these visuals really makes you want to get to those higher levels and learn these abilities. Alright, so now we've got control again. Anyway, kudos Webzen for a pretty smooth beta. The only gripe I really had as far as localization or text or anything, it seems like there's a 2-line text limit for chatting, and even that 2 lines, if you have a word at the end of the first line, it will break it in half, but who knows? Again, it's a beta. That may be something that's worked out by the end of the beta sessions. So, a little less visually impressive here, but I am running around almost naked, so I guess that's a plus. Who knows? If you're into that kind of thing. Looting, 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 and off to kill some more goblins. So, for the first few quests, obviously very linear. You hit the instance, you start going through it, and it's pretty much a guided path. You really don't have any work to do to find your way around. Get the box here, see what's in the box. That's a good way to get a box open, just kick it. Again, look at the environment. Pretty impressive, actually, watching these trees sway back and forth. Top-notch graphics. I mean, it's definitely on par, even better than a lot of pay-to-play MMOs that are out there right now. Again, doesn't show its age, considering it's been out for a few years overseas. Not too shabby. Some of the environments here, and you'll see I'm going to search here in a little bit, are destructible. So when you're in these instances, if you were lucky enough to get in the beta, or when you play the actual game when it comes out, make sure you do take a look around. There are destructible walls, things like that, to find secret passages. So there is room for exploring. You just don't see it too much here in the first couple of instances. Now, like some other games in the action RPG vein, you are going to run some of these same instances a few times. You will get quests that send you back to those same instances. For instance, this one that we're in now is usually levels 1 through, I think it's like 5 or 6 if I remember right. I could be wrong. We'll look at the map later. But they do give you the option, once you've cleared them on normal, you can go to hard mode, then you can go to expert mode, and then on some you can go to master mode, and up and up and up and up and up. So obviously we're on normal here. You have to run them on normal first before you get any of the harder options. So let's kick open another chest here. Awesome. Gold kind of hard to come by, at least off the bat. Found myself getting 2 and 6 gold quest rewards. You'll see here once I open this, and we're gonna go fight the Goblin Lord. So if you've played action RPGs, this type of format's already familiar to you. WebZen's just done it in a very, very polished way. I will tell you, action RPGs, not my favorite, not top of my list. However, I did find myself logging into this game a lot more than I thought I would to play it, and I will continue to log in until the VIP beta test ends. I had a blast with this. Some of the guys from the free-to-play cast, Celfius, Sajero, Brim, Hera, they've been in and out of the game. We've all been playing together. The feedback has been nothing but positive. Little gripes here and there. Things like in the video here, you're not going to see any PvP. PvP, unfortunately, was not ready to go by the time we were in. However, it is supposed to be ready before the end of the 10,000 VIP test. So, if you're looking for PvP, you are supposed to have it. It just wasn't ready for the press testing we did here. So, like other action RPGs, end here, we're going to get a little quest, dialogue back and forth, and then you're familiar with this, guys. You get your grade. Now, this legitimately was my first time going through here, so I don't think I did too bad. What did I get? I got... good. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. It's not awful. At the end here, we do get to pick a reward. We get 2 keys. We get to unlock 2 chests and find out what's inside. And awesome. Almost no gold. Perfect. Yay. I don't feel robbed or anything. So enough of the level 1 stuff. Let's fast forward. Same character, but we're going to fast forward a little bit here. Now I'm level 9. And we're doing the tests that you have to do to open up your advanced classes so that you can take your shaman and make them an illusionist or any of the numerous subclasses that are available. So this is a wave test. There's a timer that you've got to beat all these creatures by. You can see visually I'm a little more impressive. I have a few more clothes on, and my attacks. I have a few AoEs that I'm using here. And generally, just a lot smoother, and I'm having an easier time with it than just running around swinging a staff. So, combo counter, of course, in the upper right influences the score at the end. Didn't do so hot here. Obviously, there's not a ton of mobs here. I will tell you, I'm not generally good with the whole combo thing, even like on consoles with Dynasty Warriors.
So we get
I picked this one up pretty quickly and ended up getting some 500, 600 point combos later. Here's some fun stuff we got to do, though. We got to roll with a GM. And kudos again to the WebZen team. Your GMs in this beta test were fantastic. There was not a day that I logged on that a GM wasn't whispering me, wasn't asking the general area, hey, where are you from, what site do you do reports for, what magazines, whatever, how are you enjoying the game, do you have any questions? The GMs were all over it, and they were a blast. Look at that.
That was ridiculous.
Oh, man.
That was ridiculous.
So, the GM's partying with us right now. This is Celsius and I, and the GM's just kind of tagging along. And well, I guess we're kind of tagging along. The GM's kind of doing all of it. Some pretty awesome visual attacks here, and the GM's moving so fast, it's hard to keep up with them. They have a Fury buff on them. They have, obviously, enchants on their gear that you can't possibly get in the game, so they're constantly overpowered.
Yes,
but it was just a lot of fun to watch. It's taking me, 4 or 5 hits to kill these things, and the GM's tearing through this stuff, and that's to be expected. But it's still fun as hell to watch. I'm sorry. A little escort quest, so we'll skip that. And we're going to move forward here. This isn't something that I've seen a lot of talked about for C9, so I wanted to see if I could get you some information on guild functions for the actual game. Now, this wasn't something that was actually live yet in the beta. However, we had made friends with a number of the GMs, and they were surprised to see us rolling lower-level characters and asking why we were doing that when everybody else seemed to be rolling 50s. And the reason we were doing that was obvious. I mean, we're here to give you the information. You guys, the listeners, the fans of MMOBomb.com, we want to give you the information on what's the game like from the minute the game starts. Are you going to have fun playing the game? Are you going to stick with the game? Ultimately, are you going to spend money? I mean, it is a revenue thing for the free-to-play games. So that's why we chose to stay low level. So right now we're about 10 or 11. We've already been hanging out with this GM for a little while, and I asked if maybe we could sneak into guild housing and get some screenshots for you guys. Now, I know screenshot-wise there's not much impressive going on in this room, but the GM was nice enough to help us by giving us a ton of guild points and everything we needed to create a guild and advance it high enough in levels to actually obtain the guild house. So thank you again to the WebZen team there. So we came in, now no furnishings or anything yet, but you can fully customize the furniture for your place. In fact, Celsius here was a woodworker, so he was beginning to make furniture. Each of these buffs are purchased for 10 grand, and your entire guild gets them when they're purchased, so a lot going on there too. And let's finish this up with some level 50 Hunter Badassery. I told you I rolled a male hunter initially. I did not play it initially. I wanted to start at level 1. But this was the jumped character to level 50. Keep in mind, again, the instances that you have to go through are only up to level 20-24 is the segment. So I'm not only am I level 50, but I'm also beating up on things that are tailored for level 24, level 25 characters. But now we're in an indoor instance. I've got a lot more abilities, including a stealth, and a lot more AoE, some slams, some bow and arrows on the hunter, and things start to get really impressive as far as the graphical performance. The combat, so smooth. Right and left mouse keys are the primaries, and then your hotkeys, as you see the action bar at the bottom there, trigger different abilities. But just done really smoothly. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this genre. I enjoyed my time in C9 immensely, and I will be playing this as it comes out. A couple odds and ends here as we get to the end of this video and watch the hunter do the work here. Let's take these guys out as they come in. Awesome. So nice. There's a lot going on with the cash shop. It wasn't quite ready for us to take advantage of and look at as a whole yet. So I'm eager to see what they're doing with the cash shop. The auction house seemed a little bit weird. It had bound items on it. Now, again, it's beta. Anything can change, but the rumor there was that bound items can be sold to somebody else on the auction house, and then can in turn be unbound with a cash purchase. Now, again, just speculation, and it is beta. That's not confirmed or anything, but it's something to be concerned about while we were playing the game. Would that affect the balance of the game at all? So we're fighting the final boss here. He's lighting me up with AoE. I didn't take any damage. 2 hits, dead. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this first look at C9. Again, come on over to MMOBomb.com. Check out all the free-to-play. Rate, like, and as always, I'll see you on the servers.